Well, I'm Paul, and I play the bass.
I'm John, and I too play guitar. Sometimes I play the fool.
Welcome to Unscripted Moments, a podcast about Propagandhi. Today, we are not really talking about Propagandhi, and I am not your regular host, and neither is my co-host. My name is John Danek, and I am joined by the wonderful Paul Hodgert. Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It is a nice Sunday morning here in sunny Manitoba.
It is a cloudy Sunday morning here in Los Angeles, California, which is setting the tone for this very special podcast episode where we have defenestrated the regular hosts of this show and taken over.
Such a takeover.
So we are members of the Unscripted Moments Discord. We have both appeared on the show as guests in the past. Paul, I think you were on quite recently on Greg's takeover of Witch Police Radio.
Yes, and I also took over and guest hosted an Unscripted Moments episode with Matt Contois doing his French version of Adventures in Zoocosis.
Yes, you have. And I haven't appeared on the show in about a year and a half. I was on back last May or so to talk about my Propagandhi ranking discography article for the Hard Times. Highly controversial. Everyone has told me how vehemently wrong that I've been.
Especially me.
I would say you're the number one hater of that article.
I hate everything you've ever done, and I hate your stupid face.
Excellent. But today, that should be a non-issue because we are not really talking about the band Propagandhi. Who are we talking about?
I think we're talking about the great I Spy, Regina, Saskatchewan, their favorite sons, I Spy. And I'm very excited. I really love I Spy.
Yeah, the pride of Regina, featuring Propagandhi bassist Todd Kowalski.
I love him. We have some fun chats with some people related to this, too, coming up. It's going to be a real good time.
Yes, we got some great interviews. We have 2 interviews. We have a little mailbag section, and then we're going to do the classic unscripted moments and kind of break down the music of one particular I Spy release. So today we are talking about A Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior, which is the I Spy side of Propagandhi's I'd Rather Be Flag Burning 10-inch.
I just want to point out, I have it in front of me, and nowhere on here can I find the words, A Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior. So I'm not even sure how official that name is, but that is what Todd called it. That is what everybody calls it. It's just not on here anywhere, and I find that absolutely delightful.
I'm glad to hear that Todd confirmed that because I also didn't come across that name until like days into doing research for this on a particular YouTube rip that I've been listening to because it has the lyrics.
Ah, yes. So I believe without further ado, why don't we hop right into our first conversation live from Winnipeg's own Vimy Ridge Park. Here is my conversation with Todd Kowalski. Okay, so I'm sitting here with Todd Kowalski. We are in beautiful Vimy Ridge Park in the Wolseley area of Winnipeg. Todd, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
I appreciate you doing this. So I'm just going to jump right into it.
Okay.
Can you tell me a little bit of the story of I Spy? How did you form? What made you move to Winnipeg? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I moved to Winnipeg to, there's like a fine arts program at the U of M that I didn't have to take like English and all those classes.
Nice.
I think my mom probably thought I was hopeless, so throw me in there. And then, I was making songs in Regina before I came, obviously, just playing in bands and stuff with my friends. Then I moved here. I started making songs here. And then, I saw those guys, the other guys from I Spy in Regina before I left, in the summer, just playing, Iron Maiden covers and stuff.
Nice.
and their own songs, but, they did that one song. And I was like, oh, shit, those guys can play that, Mm-hmm. And then, so I had them in mind, when I went back the next summer from Winnipeg, I just asked my friend Marlon if if he could get me in touch with those guys. I didn't know them at all. And they were like, yeah, let's jam. And then, yeah, we jammed and had a really good time. And I brought a song that they all seemed to like.
Nice.
And they had some of their own songs with a different singer, actually. Like, it wasn't I Spy yet. It was, I can't remember what it was called.
I think it was like Clump or something like that. I think that's what I read.
No, that was what we were thinking of calling I Spy that at some point. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Which it's not really much worse. Yeah. So that's that. Yeah.
Okay. And
then those guys moved to Winnipeg with me.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I saw that on the Perversity is Spreading collection that most of the stuff's recorded by John Sutton, but there are a couple of tracks on there recorded by Chris. There's sort of like one or two of them. They're a little bit lower fi. I'm guessing they're on his old 4-track. Would probably be my guess.
Okay, there's a couple that are recorded at the Albert also.
Okay.
Which one's it? Oh yeah, a couple. Yeah, recorded in. I can't remember what we recorded in Chris's basement. Yeah, but we recorded 4 songs in his mom's. Where the hell were we? I think we were in maybe this guy Simon Hughes' basement.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a local artist too. If you ever see his paintings around all over.
I'll keep an eye out.
Awesome guy. Yeah. I think it was Simon's basement. Yeah.
Cool. And then for the 10-inch split, did you guys record that with John Sutton at I think what God of Thunder?
10-inch split. The first one, yeah, we recorded it first with a guy from God of Thunder. No, he did it. Yeah, it wasn't Sutton.
Okay, because it says Sutton on Wikipedia, and that's what sort of threw me.
Okay, yeah, no, the split with I Spy was with the guy from God of Thunder.
Okay.
Chris Brett, I think was his name. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then, what the hell? Or did Sutton redo it? I can't remember.
See, I'd look it up, but I don't have a physical copy of it
yeah.
because you cannot find that CD anywhere now,
Yeah.
and it's not streaming anywhere.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think Chris Brett did them both, and then like we did it. The reason why I can't remember is we did it, and then we thought it had like too much reverb and stuff, and took it back and I think we just remixed it. So it must have been Chris also. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Sutton did the next one, like the Revenge of the Little Shits.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you I Spy get connected with Chris and with Propagandhi?
I came to Winnipeg, and I knew this woman named Mary Beth. She was from Portage with Jordan Chris. Mm-hmm. Just kind of 3 things at once. And then I had a friend from India. Like, he's pretty much my first friend here. He was like just from India. I was just from here, or from Regina, you know. We started hanging out. And then he was interested. He saw Propagandhi's name, was interested in it because of the name. Mary Beth knew Chris and George, so she was talking about it. And then I just one time at the Albert, I got a ride home from Derek and Keith Riel, who were doing shows then, and they were, they had the first Propagandhi tape, and they were like, "You got to hear this," and I was like, "Yeah, that's awesome." And then I think because I didn't really have too many friends or anything, I was just kind of hanging around, you know, just
like you
wandering
do,
around, you know. And so I'd see Chris every now and then, and we'd say hi, and then like I would say hi to him because I saw him in Propagandhi at the show we went to with like Mary Beth and Nikhil, my friend from India, and me. So we went to that show, thought it was awesome. And then, so I'd see Chris around and I'd say hi to him just because I saw him in the band there. And then, so we just started saying hi. And eventually, I Spy played at the Albert and Chris just happened to be there. And he's like, "Hey, there's that guy I say hi to on the street all the time, you know?" And he dug it. And we just kind of became friends.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so, like, how did that sort of move to, like, getting connected with Todd Conjolier from Recess? Like, was that through, was Propagandhi the one who started working with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think probably, you know, Todd or whatever, not through Fat, but through hearing Propagandhi on whatever. And then, I think just that, you know, just like maybe they played with FYP on their first tour or something. I can't remember. Yeah,
that sounds like something I've heard. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I can't quite remember that, but yeah, Chris ended up playing drums for FYP on one tour.
Oh yeah, that was the disaster where he realized he didn't actually know any of the songs.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
and you guys also ended up being. I think this might have been before you with the J Church period? Was that before you when they were like basically backing up J Church?
No, I was in it. Yeah, that was
Oh,
that
awesome.
was in Japan. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
J
so-
Church rules.
Oh, good.
Love
Right on.
J-Church.
Yeah. Lance was an awesome guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, we went to Japan, supposed to be opening for J Church, or they were opening. Yeah. Just playing with J Church. I can't remember what the deal was. But yeah, Lance went a couple days before everyone else, so he was the only guy that got in.
Ah.
Yeah, and then the rest of the band got turned away, and then we got in and went to some little room. Me and Chris each learned like half the songs on bass.
Sure.
Yeah, and started playing those shows.
Nice. I would have been a hell of a show, J Church and Propagandhi in that era. Like that would have been fantastic.
Yeah, it was fun. I really liked traveling around with Lance. Yeah.
Sure.
I really found him a very funny, nice guy.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about him. A lot of them from Adam, the drummer for Jawbreaker.
Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
they were really close.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Adam was even in J Church for a while. And
Yeah,
they
we
had
we
another band.
traveled with Adam and J Church as well.
Yeah.
That was on the Today's Empires tour.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was like, yeah.
Awesome.
Adam was in J Church. Yeah.
Yeah, and now Adam's back in Jawbreaker,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
Good for them. I saw them in Chicago for their first big show back.
Oh, right on.
It's absolutely incredible. I don't know if you're a Jawbreaker guy, but they were a
Yeah, they're
huge
good.
band
Yeah.
for me. So around this around the time you were doing the splits, you were also around the time you were in I Spy. A little bit. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about your time in Swallowing Shit, because I actually am a big fan of that one discography.
Oh,
record.
right on. Cool, yeah. I guess that was, Swallowing Shit was going with Mark Novak on guitar. And then Novak quit, and they asked me if I assume they asked me. I don't know how I ended up there, but
Just showed up and started doing it, I guess.
yeah. So we just started playing, and yeah, I found it really fun, Just I'd listen, just making riffs, going there and just blitzing them out, like.
Yeah, I love the confrontational nature of everything that band did. I
cool.
really enjoy that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I kind of did too, in a way, like just.
Well, when you're at a certain age, all you want to do is be confrontational, like, or at least I did when I was.
Yeah.
When I was younger. Now
Yeah.
as a dad, it's less so than it used to be, but just how it goes.
Yeah, at a certain point, you just realize everything's a joke, and like, you kind of want to point it out, in some way,
Basically.
That you just can't. Just kind of the nature of things, just to say, yeah, we realize this is a big fucking joke,
And Swallowing Shit has had a pretty crazy cast of characters go through there, like going all the way back. I think Steve from The Undecided and Figure 4 drummed for a little bit.
Yeah.
Mike Coop was a member for
Oh,
a
yeah,
while.
that's right, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just a
I think
crazy cast of characters.
Was Coop before Novak? Yeah, must have been.
And I think Coop, I could be wrong. I should note that I actually have memory issues because I had an infection in my brain a number of years ago. So I might be misremembering this. But I think for a while, Coop just played an acoustic guitar.
Oh,
As like
that wasn't
which is-
that wasn't shit. So there was Swallowing Shit and Shit. And I know.
Oh,
Mike
maybe I'm
Coop-
getting those confused. That could be it.
Mike Coop was in Shit.
That could be where I'm getting it confused. Yeah.
Yeah. I could be wrong too, but if it was very early.
Yeah, just like they were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
goofing around.
Yeah.
Being
But
really
by
silly.
the time they got rolling, I don't know when Steve quit, but like was Steve on the first 7-inch? I don't think that was Koss, right?
Well, I actually, a couple years ago, I was playing a show where my band was opening for The Undecided.
Okay.
And I had the Swallowing Shit discography. And I was like, hey, Steve, check this out. And he was like, what the hell is that? He hadn't even heard it existed.
Oh, okay.
So we went to my car and played it. And we went through it, him trying to figure out if he's on any of them.
Oh,
And
okay.
he might be on the really, really bad demo, like cassette recording-y stuff on
Okay.
the very last track.
Okay.
But he's not sure.
Right,
so I
right,
think,
okay.
I don't think we're ever quite going to know if Steve played on
Yeah,
any of
yeah.
it. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, I wouldn't be entirely sure either. I used to see them. And I thought the 7-inch was awesome, but I don't recall.
Yeah, and now that's like 25 years ago, or
Yeah.
30 years ago, actually, now that I
Yeah.
think about it. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, I was 10, so I never actually saw them. I just
Yeah.
did all of it after the fact.
Actually, now that you mentioned, we jammed right on the street right there, about 4 houses in.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice. I've definitely jammed in a number of houses in this general area myself. So, a lot of I Spy lyrics are sort of definitely lean on humor, which is not something that Propagandhi does as much, though definitely still does. Sort of like, what was sort of the impetus to say, you know what, let's just be little shits, and for no pun intended, but and just like have sort of like more humor-based stuff within the the lyrics.
Yeah, I think it was just the spirit of the times. Like we were living, just me and Juice Pig having fun, and Chris too. Like we were all kind of one big pile of people, you know, and our friend Lorna, and it's just all of us just doing our thing, trying to be funny, but also at the same time, like, you know, kind of trying to say something about the world that is like not positive, but like, you know, you're trying to be somewhat critical of ourselves. You know what I mean? And like, how do we fit into this whole thing, and can we make any of it better? I don't know. You know.
That's what we're all still trying to do.
Yeah,
I'd
exactly.
say.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you have much contact with the I Spy guys anymore? Like, do you see them?
I see James when I go to Vancouver. That's Juice Pig, the drummer.
Yeah.
Rary lives in Winnipeg again now. I always mean to see him. I should call him very soon. Awesome guy. He's making guitars and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, if you Jeremy Van Duzen probably on Instagram or whatever. Yeah.
So him and Beav, you've got two bandmates who make guitars. That's awesome.
I think they kind of have a similar, like, they're both kind of quiet guys who are like into that side of instruments and making things. So it's pretty cool. And then Dave, I see when we play in Propagandhi in Regina. That's the bass player. And then Tellerico, last time I saw him was at Sacrifice in Vancouver too.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, he played in the band after Dave. Like we went to Europe, and then it was pretty like a long slog, you know, and you're playing all the squats and they're all smoky and it's just so tiring, you know.
Yeah.
We got back and Jeremy Rary there, he thought he was just pretty much out at that point, I think. And then Dave lasted just a touch longer, you know, and then but he was living in Regina, you know, so we got Tellerico because he was our friend, and we went to maybe one more tour with Sean, I think. He was a fun guy to have, and like he kind of had the like rejuvenated the spirit, you know, a little bit.
You need that sort of injection of energy.
Yeah. So and then James kind of seemed like he was losing interest at some point or whatever, or he was just spread thin, kind of doing a bunch of stuff, and then Chris asked me if I wanted to fill in for Prop, and I was like, yeah, sure, sounds good. Like, we were friends, you know, living together, and well, like all of us were just like, I mean, we're all kind of friends. And,
it's just a scene, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, one thing that you and I have in common is that we are both people who started off playing guitar and ended up joining another band to end up playing bass.
Yeah, right.
Was that like a difficult transition? Because I noticed that after a while, my mindset when I was playing had to shift considerably, even though as a guitar player you just assume just play the root notes.
I think it was probably a bigger challenge than I thought it was. You know what I mean? Like I think I just started playing it and whatever. You know what I mean? Like playing it, but probably took me longer than I thought to get okay at. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it takes most guitar players longer than they expect because they expect it'll be a real easy switch. Like I did.
Yeah. Like I remember, the hard part is kind of like how intentional it is, like compared to like strumming.
Yeah,
like,
strumming you get a big wall of sound out of it.
Yeah, and strumming you can kind of like use your arm to keep the rhythm a little more, you know. Like bass is more just like
those fingers, the wrist.
Yeah, it's like it's. I still find it like it's harder to. Some things are just harder on bass, you know. Like
for sure.
Guitar, yeah. And then you have to stretch this hand way further, you know, just
doing like those 4-fret stretches and stuff like that could be a real pain.
Like things that would be easy on guitar, it's just like, oh, this is torture.
So you guys are working on the new record. You're doing it in spurts. Yeah. What's this is for the sort of gearhead nerds. Okay. What are you playing on the record so far?
Same crap as always. I got same bass as I played like first Propagandhi tour ever, which is like Ibanez 1500, I think. Yeah.
Okay. I think my school's jazz band owned that bass.
Oh, cool.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I like it. So it sounds good. Bass sounds good on the record, and then Ampeg, and then SVT.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So it's usually the same thing. I just I just feel like, okay, I know what this is gonna sound like.
And if it ain't broke, like it
Yeah.
works on those records, it
Yeah.
cuts nicely. Especially on that remix of Today's Empires, I was shocked at how
Yeah.
much better the bass sounded.
Yeah, and it's crazy, eh? Like, that's the thing about that record. Like, we knew we laid all that stuff down. You know what I mean? And then, like, when it came out, we were disappointed, you know?
Sure.
Like, because you know all that stuff's in there
It's there somewhere, it's hidden.
You know? And so, but yeah, the remaster's really cool. Yeah. And
And that
Yeah.
was done Jason Livermore at the Blasting Room?
yeah, Jason remastered it. Yeah, or remixed it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really happy with that. Like, I thought that record actually moved up my rankings in like
Yes, mine
kind
too.
of, like, yeah, in like maybe the order of what I think of it.
Mhm.
Like, so I was kind of
Oh, I remember when it first came out, I didn't get into it for quite a while just because the sound was sort of so off for me, and I
Yeah.
was Mr. Fat Records Epitaph at the
Yeah,
time because
yeah.
I think I was 17 or whatever when that came
Yeah.
out. But since then, it grew on me a ton, and now it's probably in my top 3 at this
yeah,
point.
cool. Yeah, I remember feeling like, yeah, it was weird. Like when I got home, there was like a lot of people I knew seemed like they were like not into it. You know, it wasn't until we went on tour to the States I was like, oh, people do like this record. You know, and when like all the shows were sold out, everyone was super into it. You know, super into the record, and yeah, I kind of almost felt like just from my friends and stuff, like there's literally no one said a single thing about it.
That's weird.
Yeah, and almost like a couple people were almost like negative towards it, you know.
Well,
And I almost felt like for a couple people, it's like fuck you. Like I watched, I watched your shitty band and pretended to like it. You know what I mean? Just to support you.
Yeah,
You know?
be a friend, support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're making this record, and you can't even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like fuck you. Like.
Well, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people, there was a big amount of jealousy. At that point, you guys were, this is pre-Comeback Kid, you were the only big punk band from Winnipeg doing big things in that particular moment.
Yeah, there was a certain, for sure that, like I would, because I wasn't in the band at first, like I would hear it before I was in the band. You know, people telling me, you know.
Yeah. That's pretty
And
funny.
I think that's one reason why, partially why you don't want to be like that jealous person.
Totally.
Because those guys are like, well, this guy's never acted like that towards us, you know?
Yeah.
And then pretty soon, yeah, you want to be in the band? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's always easy to talk shit when it's when you don't think you have any chance.
Yeah, and it's sometimes I just find it not fair. Like it's just like these guys excelling to this point and just shit on for fucking just because people feel like you're not under their wing anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And I mean, you could say that they put the work in ahead of time, getting signed by Mike at the Albert and like put out.
Yeah.
For the time, some of the most progressive, best punk records of that period.
Oh yeah, their tape. Like when I first heard their tape, I was like, "This is awesome."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I was just stuck out. Like, yeah, the Rial brothers were like, "You got to hear this," you know.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Samson wasn't in the band yet, and Derek Rial said you should try out. And then, but I didn't know them at all, you know. Like I didn't know where or how, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And then, or I'd never even. And then he actually said, "I don't think they'd like you anyway because you don't drink." And I was like, "Okay, well, you know what I mean?" Wasn't like, "Oh, okay," but I was just thought, "Okay, I guess whatever." And
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
their
really
thing.
think anything of it.
Yeah.
I was just like, "Yeah, it's a cool tape." I don't know. And I also, in my own mind, always had a vision of myself like being my own band, or not being my own band,
Like
but
being
like
the leader.
like not playing other people's songs, but
Yeah.
just like I want to make my own songs, and
Mhm.
you know what I mean. So I'm kind of glad I did all you know what I mean. I'm glad I had a chance to just like fully make just all this just myself, and then join that, and then kind of do two things, you know.
Yeah.
So I can still make up whatever I want. Like I just.
Yeah, and the sort of mix between having both of you guys there as songwriters, I mean, to an extent, the whole band are songwriters,
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken, but having the two distinct voices as really, I guess Propagandhi kind of always had two distinct voices. It's just switching from John to you, which just really opened up the sort of possibilities. That's
Yeah.
not to say I don't love John.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
absolutely love John's stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really opened things up sonically to new options.
Yeah, I think maybe like I have a kind of a, I don't like, it's a stupid sounding thing to say, but like kind of a musically progressive attitude.
Mhm. Oh, I know what you're
I
saying.
mean? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like I think that's what kind of like the spirit of that is. I think what pushed Propagandhi into this today's Empire's kind of sound a little bit. You know, it's like the spirit of me saying to like Chris and George, like, fuck, let's just
make it faster, make it harder.
Yeah, and let's just go for it. Let's try to play some of this crazy stuff that we don't even know how to play. You know what I mean? And like let's just do it, and just kind of that spirit, you know.
Oh yeah, and that's the spirit that now I really love about that record is that everything is just pushing every piece of it as far as it can go. Which both with music and lyrically, like it's all just a fantastic package that way, and that energy comes through so much more on the remix.
I agree.
Just incredible. So I saw that you were at one of those. I hate to be the guy who brings this up. One of those Final No Effect shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering if there's any story behind deciding to go see that, because I know I think Chris and George were at one night and you were at the other night.
Yeah, I went to both actually.
Didn't see.
I guess so. The first thing was like Tanya, who sells shirts for the Circle Jerks.
Oh yeah.
She was like our driver in Brazil like 20 years ago. So whenever we get a chance to see her, I do, or whatever we do. And then that was the first thing, and then I think that was actually the main thing. And Kent, the No Effect sound guy, and Rugli, the like stage. Stage. He does all the stage stuff. Yeah, we know them. They helped us out pretty big time.
And Kent's from here, right?
Yeah, he's from here. Yeah, he used to play in Gorilla.
Oh, yeah, with Biff.
Yeah, with Biff. Yeah, I saw them at the Albert a few times. Like,
oh, hell yeah.
That's like a long time. And then, and actually I saw them in Regina, too, when I lived in Regina before Winnipeg. So.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so as a little aside. But yeah, so what was we talking about even?
Just going to the Albert.
Oh,
the No Effect show.
Yeah, and then... I kind of watched a little bit of the first thing. Then he said something about Muslim people.
He said a bunch of stuff that was just awful.
I just heard him say something, and I just went out and talked to Tanya. And then the next day, I was supposed to meet Tanya out at the Forks, actually. But it was raining, so I was like, I'll just go talk to you at the show again. And then I did. And I wanted to see Circle Jerks. So partially... because the drummer of Wasted Youth is on drums.
Yeah.
And I was like super big into Wasted Youth when I was a kid.
Sick, yeah.
The second Wasted Youth record anyway. And I was super into Circle Jerks when I was a kid too. Like mostly Circle Jerks 6, but they don't really play any of it.
I was a Group Sex guy. I'm a Group Sex guy. Something about that record. Just the whole idea of like 16 minutes for a full length.
Yeah.
That just tickles me the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that. You know, when you're a kid, like you have the record you bought, your friends have the record they bought. So I bought 6, my friend bought that one. You know. So.
Oh yeah, well for me and my friend, I bought Today's Empires. He bought Quantity's Job 1.
Yeah.
And we both eventually bought them, but we definitely just burned them for each other.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how that unfolded. And then, yeah, it's kind of I watched a little bit of No Effects, and then kind of went out to talk to Tanya again. I don't know what to think of it. I just kind of start feeling hollow, especially when like I left before I saw him do or say anything dumb that show. Yeah. But then I heard he did after. But yeah, I talked to Mike for a little bit. It's all right. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't know what to think about it. Really.
I know. Yeah. It's a hard one. Like I saw them on the same tour in Toronto the next 2 days. Because that was with Subhumans, and I have never seen Subhumans, and they were incredible, by the way.
Oh, good.
And I actually met up with Greg and Steve from the podcast, because Steve went up from Hamilton and Greg came up from Buffalo, so I got to actually meet those guys. And I bought a trip to Toronto to visit some other people before they announced the Winnipeg shows, so I ended up going to those ones.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And he said some stupid shit there, too.
Yeah.
It's just what he does.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you're just like, you're just there. You're not, I don't know, like you're not taking stuff too seriously or something. Like I should have said something to Mike like, that's fucking stupid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you know what? Hindsight, you know?
Yeah, I was kind of like, but I didn't really watch the show that day really. So it's like, you know, it wasn't, if I would have I saw some footage for a second of him like pulling a keffiyeh off someone or something. I don't
Ooh,
know.
I
if
didn't
it's a
catch
joke
that,
or-
but that's gross.
Yeah, I was like how is that a?
Especially right now with
Yeah, like there's a
everything going on in
genocide of
Gaza,
like
yeah.
thousands of people, and you're doing that. It's like just pure racism in genocide.
Yeah, during
It's like I can't
insane.
imagine if the roles were somehow reversed about that. How I don't know, man. It's just like like I was saying to someone they're like, oh, I didn't surprised to see you at the show or something. I was like, yeah, I probably like every time I step out and give punk a chance, I fucking get so disoriented and feel empty and wish I wasn't there. And yeah, it didn't take long.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
watch a few songs. Yeah. So it's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of why this is almost like to me like bordering on a dead scene. You
Yeah.
know, when it comes to like more popular bands, you know, like I know there's all the underground stuff and all this cool stuff happening, you know, which I like some of it, you know what I mean? Or I just don't go out of my way to hear it, you know? It's just
Yeah,
like I don't know where like.
Well, I mean, we're both old now, so it's not our scene anymore.
Yeah,
in the same
yeah.
way. Doesn't
And-
mean I don't want to support it and won't enjoy what I hear, but
Yeah.
I don't have the time or energy to go searching that stuff out like I used to.
Yeah, and I kind of start to wonder, like, what is all this about? Like, what's it all mean? Like, everybody always saying, we'll fight for this, we'll stand up for this, and then you realize, no, nobody stands up for anything or does anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's students all over the world standing up for Gaza and stuff. No punk bands, no nothing. It's just, like, this is, like, it literally was, like, probably the nail in the coffin. Like,
Yeah.
every old band, like, none of you say or do anything. And
And a lot of the people from the early like British anarcho scene are like now way conservative, which also is super weird as hell.
Yeah.
It's like you guys were like you were signed to Crass Records and you're like supporting Nigel Farage and all that stuff. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah, it's almost, it should have just been left as just a scene of young people that
Yeah.
died, you know? Yeah, it's just, it really does just, like, it doesn't mean any, like, it kind of makes you really see, well, in a way that, like, there is no real scene or anything. It's just, like, a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, really the scene now is a bunch of middle-aged people going around trying to sell shirts.
Yeah.
Not really practicing, charging a lot, just like go put in the time, don't really care about our songs, whatever. Hopefully you'll buy a shirt and give your last hurrahs. And like, I don't really put much stock in nostalgia and shit. Like sure, I'll listen to old Dio and stuff, but it still kind of like, it rules, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's still people, no one can sing like that.
No.
So you know what I mean? But I can't like sit around pretending some old punk band's the greatest thing. And sometimes it's just like, oh, it's just because it's from LA. Oh, wow. You know what I mean? Okay, you're from LA or New York, so we're going to hear about you for the rest of your life.
Well, yeah, you guys were smack in the middle of the "you're from LA" world when you guys were on Fat, because that was just a ton of mostly LA and Southern California bands, some of which were okay and some of which were pretty terrible.
Yeah. I kind of hate to. I try not to go down this negative road, but it's like, it's almost like, you know what I mean? Like, I try to mind my own business and just like not worry, not try to bring people down or be negative or whatever, but. Just sometimes you just sit here and start talking and you're like, fuck, whatever.
Yeah, and hey, you're coming into it with somebody who pretty much feels the same way, so I'm definitely going to be able to lead you. Also, as an aside, I'm happy to cut out any of the stuff that you might not want to be in
that's
there.
fine. Whatever,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll cut out this little bit, though, but other than that, just to let you know, I'm totally cool to do that if you think you might have been too negative.
I don't care.
All right.
Unless you think it is.
Oh, no,
then
people
whatever.
will absolutely love this.
Yeah, I guess my message to the people who are listening, if you want a positive outlook, like, really try to just do your own thing and worry about the actual world, not like a scene or anything.
Sure.
Like, absolutely not. Like, listen to the bands you like, and even if they're stupid, I don't give a shit, but like, I don't know. But like, just kind of, my wish is that someone would give a shit about something at some point in time, or just let it die.
Fair enough. As somebody who spent most of their life identifying with that scene, I would have to agree.
Yeah.
It's a weird place to be.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay, so we are coming up on 1:40. We're almost there. Can't believe we've been talking for like almost 40 minutes already.
Yeah, that's crazy, yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
I wish I could remember James' new bands out there in Vancouver. He's in a couple.
I'll look those up and I'll
Okay,
put it on
yeah.
the wraparounds.
Yeah, so he'd be James Ash on Instagram or whatever.
And you are Todd Kowalski Art on Instagram?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Todd, again, thank you so much. And thank you for this wonderful idea to do it here. It has been absolutely
it's nice,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
I hope the wind isn't too much on the mics, but I mean, there's 58 should be fine.
Yeah, I don't hear it. I think it's all right.
Should be nice. Okay.
Hey, there's a butterfly.
Oh.
Or a moth.
Okay, we're right by the community garden.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Awesome. All right. Well, Todd, thank you so
All right,
much.
thanks, Paul,
and
man.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you too.
Take
Bye.
it easy.
All right, welcome back. Paul, thank you for that amazing interview with Todd Kowalski. It was fascinating. He gave a lot of insights as to like where he's at mentally, currently, creatively. And I particularly loved his assessment of kind of the current punk scene and the way that a lot of the big punk bands are kind of hollow when it comes to values, activism. And I think it's something that has been discussed on this podcast.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
By various guests, by the hosts. But it's pretty noticeable, whereas I think in the 90s, a lot of these bands kind of really espoused certain ideals with a lot of intensity and specifics. And that certainly seems to be lacking. But that's something that Propagandhi has always held true and continues to do so.
Yeah.
And it's something that makes them so likable and so able to become obsessive about, like we all have.
Well, that's interesting because I have in front of me the liner notes to the record we're going to be talking about. And I just want to read you something Todd wrote in here.
Okay.
Our band is really important to us. It's funny because no matter how big punk gets, it can never be bought out. I know personally that I'm not into what any band stands for when they sign to a corporate record label. I'll be glad to see a true way of finding out who's who by separating the bands I agree with and support from the ones I do not. I honestly can't be behind someone who will compromise their beliefs as soon as they see a couple of $$. If all it takes is some money to alter opinions and beliefs, then we're all in a lot of trouble.
There you go.
I was gonna say, he has not wavered on that.
No, they
Respect.
really haven't.
Big respect. Although the one thing that I'd say is he says punk cannot never be bought out, but I think he believes no, punk has now pretty much been bought out. And he's probably not wrong.
Yeah, I think those tenets crumbled merely a few years after he would have written that, after the mainstream punk explosion. And I guess he would have been writing that in about 93, 94?
Looks like February 94 is when this was recorded.
Okay.
So this would have been, actually, I think February 94 is when Dookie came out.
Okay.
So
all right. Yeah.
This
so
came out. This is right in the thick of things about to just really go to shit. But also expand. I will, to play devil's advocate, like all those shitty people online. I will say that did expand what punk could get, like the number of ears it could fall on. Like Green Day is how I got into it, and it was in 1994. And that's what sort of hooked me and allowed me to find all of these new ideas and things. So it's really a double-edged sword, but you know what?
Oh.
I'm going to say Todd's still not wrong.
Yeah, totally. I would not have found Propagandhi if it weren't for the mainstream punk explosion, the trickle-down effects of that phenomenon. I think I started going down the path with like the big Rage Against the Machine albums, and that was what started to like crack my mind open into like, oh, maybe there's some alternate ways of looking at the world that I'm not getting from traditional values or mainstream sources. So yes, I see kind of both sides of it as we're looking at it. But we will come back to talking about this release after our next interview. But we have a little fun section here with the help of some members of our Discord. We told a few people that we were taking on this project of this very special episode. and just sought out some thoughts, some words of encouragement from our fellow Discord users,
From our friends.
and
Let's call them friends.
Our friends. This is our mailbag. Paul, I think you have the messages queued up.
I
so
do.
Let's hear what they have to say
All
to
right.
us.
So first, I got a lovely message here from Greg Soden, the host, the champion of this podcast. Let's see what Greg has to say.
Paul and Danek, man, those guys just won't quit bugging me. They've always been totally hounding me about how they can, make the podcast better. I'm like, dude, I've been working on this thing for 4 years nonstop. Just can't stand these guys.
Huh.
Oh, Greg, it was lovely to hear from you. Really appreciate the encouragement. Real happy. Real happy.
He did know that we would hear that, correct?
I assume that's, yeah.
Okay, little weird. You know what? Let's just go to the next.
Let's see
one.
what Steve says. Let's just check out Steve.
Wait, these guys are recording an episode? Who even are these jabronis? How did this happen? Apologies to anyone listening, because surely this is going to be absolutely terrible. We've got Wish.com Jeff Goldblum and a guy that thinks the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are an actual sports franchise. I have no idea what either of these bozos has to say, but apologies in advance because it's probably going to suck.
Okay, all right. I will not disagree that I do resemble Jeff Goldblum.
I love my Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Sorry, I'm not into your corporate NFL. You jerks. Yeah, go make your $1 billion not-for-profit NFL teams with your 4 downs. That's lazy football. You have an extra try. That's all I have to say. Okay,
you know what? To be fair, I guess we did kind of strong arm our ways into hosting the podcast. Let's get some messages from people who don't typically host the show.
Okay, let's try Matt Milkowski. Let's see what he has to say.
I'm just sitting here in my car about to go to work, and was looking forward to a really good day, and then I just remember Paul. We've got this Discord, and we're all trying to be positive here. And Paul just comes in and ruins everything. I mean, the man thinks he's so funny with his little chit-chat jokes left and right, And I've been trying to get him out of the Discord for a long time because I wouldn't say I hate him, but truly don't like him. Musically, personally, I'm imagining that he's a piece of shit in person. Hope to never find out. And now he's recruiting Danek into all of this. I don't get the Goldblum thing. That's confusing to me. So I'm just tired of him. I'm tired of both of them. And I hope this doesn't go on forever, because they need to get the hell out of here.
Okay, I'm starting to pick up on a theme here. I think maybe we overstep our boundaries on the Discord a little more.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm feeling such warmth and love. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what Steven or Baishisht has to say. Who when I was in Toronto recently, he did me a huge favor. He gave me a quick lift to a pharmacy to pick up some things for some medical issues I have. Let's see what he has to say.
A kind user. I'm sure this will be positive.
Hey, Stephen here. Words cannot express the intense loathing I feel whenever I think about Paul Hodgert. I really hate that guy.
I gotta say, I did like what he said about me.
That's fair.
Which was nothing.
That's fair. Yeah, you managed to be no part of that one.
Dodged a bullet there.
Okay, so I'm trying to see. I'm not sure what I have here. I think this one might be the great Jamie Fougere, regular episode cover image artist. Let's see. I could be wrong. Let's see. Is this Mr. Fougere?
I heard Danek used to work for Conan. That's a pretty cool job. For me to poop on.
Oh, you just got burnt.
I just got triumphed.
Oh,
no.
Robert Smigel's rolling in his grave. I assume he's dead. He's dead, right?
He's still alive.
No, there's no way. No way. I murdered him with my own hands. Okay. So
okay. All right. Didn't dodge a bullet there.
No, I did. I was fine with that
Yeah.
one. Now we got Matt Comtois. He's again. I interviewed him. I actually even helped him out with recording with some of the mixing on his cover. Let's see what Matt has to say.
John Danek's not a poser. He's a hack. Be curious to see who actually plays guitar in his fucking records. Oh, for Conan O'Brien. Dude, shut the fuck up. And don't get me started on Paul Hodgert. If I ever see his ass downtown, I just might have to punch him in his St. Bonnie fucking face. Fuck you. No, seriously. Fuck you, Paul.
Okay. While that was incredibly mean and hurtful, I do have to give him credit for nailing my accent. I mean, it sounded just like me. Yes, he knows our discographies quite deeply.
It's not bad at all. And I enjoyed his wordplay.
Oh, we have a repeat. All right,
he
let's
does,
run it back with
which
Matt.
is very impressive. And I only have one more here, but oddly enough, it's from Matt Milkowski again. He sent in two. Let's see. Let's close it out with what Mr. Milkowski has to say.
You know, when I'm around my wife and kids, I try to be positive and look on the bright side, but I'm not shy about the three things that I hate. You know, these are non-negotiable. It's Nazis, olives, and Pauls. And that's in no particular order, just to be clear. But I'm done with Paul. Really everything about him. The personality, the music, the print, newspaper, the profession. I just can't anymore. I just can't.
Wow. No one is safe. Even Olive's catching a stray around here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, stoked to be on a list with Nazis.
But we don't know the order.
That's true. I also don't like Nazis or olives. And to be fair, I don't really like myself either. I can't say he's incorrect with his list.
Look, I will defend olives till my final breath, but not black olives. Those are gross. Get them off a pizza.
Nor will you defend Nazis or me.
I'm still feeling you out. I will not defend
fair.
Nazis.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm just glad you're not currently feeling Nazis out
no,
feeling Nazis up. Both of those would be very awkward.
Well,
okay.
Thank you so much to our fellow Discord members for those words of encouragement and faith.
It's a wonderful community of love and support.
Yeah. I do want to genuinely shout out the Discord. If you were listening this deep into this episode of the podcast, you belong in the Discord. You should join us. I don't actually
send a DM to the Instagram account, and I'm sure Greg will pass on a link or something.
Yeah, or find any of us. I think most of us have social media in some form, and we will get you the link, but also the Unscripted Moments socials. Greg is very responsive there. He'll get you the link. Maybe we'll get him to maybe post the invite link or something. But yes, if you are hearing this, you should be in the Discord. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of different channels, good people, good vibes, despite what you just heard in the mailbag.
You know what? I'm pretty sure that I'm not welcome there anymore. So lucky for all of you, you don't have to deal with me.
Look, as long as we get this episode out before you're banned, I think we're good to go.
That's fair. That's fair. So I think coming up next, we have another conversation coming up. This is you with Mr. Bill Conway.
Bill Conway, editor-in-chief of The Hard Times. We get into I Spy. We get into satire and comedy and punk rock. Who better to combine those two worlds than Bill Conway? So let's get to my conversation with the leader of The Hard Times, who I write for and work for. So this is my boss, Bill Conway.
So I just want to say, interview with Hard Times coming your way.
Bill Conway, welcome to Unscripted Moments, a podcast about propagandhi.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks, John. It's I'm happy you asked because we haven't talked in a while in person, and I've been thinking, why don't John and I talk more? Like what's going on here?
We definitely should. Talking now, we're going to catch up a little bit, but why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners who may be unfamiliar with what you do?
If there's anybody that's unfamiliar with the hard times at this point, I mean, hey, get out from under the rock you've been hiding under for the last 10 years. Or, maybe you're just a well-adjusted human that isn't using the internet all the time. But I'm Bill Conway. I'm one of the co-founders and current editor-in-chief of The Hard Times, a satirical news publication based on the internet and punk rock subcultures and so on and so forth.
Excellent. And in full disclosure, should reveal that technically you're my boss. I'm a frequent contributor to The Hard Times, still am, have been since 2017. And I think it's safe to say I'm probably your favorite contributor.
Yeah, top 15.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, low end of the top 15, but it's pretty good. You've been slowly sliding down the rankings, these past couple of years, just with these pitch. Wait, what was you used to pitch? There was a topic you used to pitch on, and I feel like we didn't ask you to stop or anything, but it was kind of a bit you were doing, and now I forget what it was.
Wait, I do vaguely remember that.
This was like 8 years ago at this point.
It was definitely like in the vein of blue humor, something probably sexual or immature.
Yeah, I think maybe it had something to do with like a T-shirt being used as a cum rag or something like that. And,
that was somebody else. I do remember that. Yeah.
There was Zach Lux is always pitching something about creaming your jorts, and I'm like, we're just not going to do that. But I feel like there's
upvote that every single time.
Yeah, man, it's going to drive me crazy remembering the one that you were pitching all the time, and we're just like, John, it's not going to happen, man. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I hope it comes back to us. Yeah, I have a vague memory of that. Maybe we'll remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so do you have any familiarity with the band Propagandhi?
So I do, obviously, being a child of 90s punk and owning multiple comps in the Fat Records vein and stuff like that. Now here's the problem. I realize I don't listen to a lot of the band, and the reason is because the first song I was introduced to is We Thought Nation States Were a Bad Idea. Is that the name of the song? And that is by far and away their best song to me. And so nothing else could compare to that, much like Fugazi's Waiting Room, where it's just like, oh, all right, well, nothing else is this good. And I listen to what I feel is their best song first. And if I had started with a mid-tier song, I would have probably gotten into the entire band's discography. Unfortunately for me, I was exposed to what I feel is their best song, and so I've always just been a casual fan because of it, and didn't really dive in full on.
Sure, totally understandable. And you know what? I'm gonna put a pin in that and come back to that at the end because I have a thing that I want to bring up regarding that song, you, me, and the Hard Times. But that's okay that you're not super familiar with Propagandhi because this is a bit of a tangent episode. We have tangent guest hosts on for this one. And we're talking about the band I Spy. Now, prior to me texting you, asking you to come on, have you ever heard of the band I Spy?
Never heard of them before. No, completely new to me.
Okay, great. And that's not a problem. I was not super familiar with them coming into hosting this. I had heard them mentioned on this podcast specifically, but other than that, I hadn't heard of I Spy before Paul threw them out, my co-host, as a topic to cover for this episode. So, in starting to do research, I went to where everybody goes first. I went to Wikipedia. And
I've heard of it.
Yes. In their introduction, in the intro part of their article, they're called out for combining childish humor and politically oriented emotive hardcore. And when I think of combining childish humor and hardcore punk, what sits in the middle of that Venn diagram if not the Hard Times?
Yes, this is true. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah. I thought you'd be a perfect guest to bring on for this. And in doing so, I gave you a little bit of homework. I sent you a YouTube link to I Spy's side of their Propagandhi I Spy split. It was uploaded by Beer Bong 1988. Thank you, Beer Bong 1988. And so I Spy's side of this split is called A Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior. And
I don't remember naming sides of splits. Is that always a thing? Or like when I'm thinking of split records, it's like, oh, that's the Suicide Files side and that's the R&R side, you know, but like,
that's a good question. It took me some digging to find that was even apparently the name of I Spy's song. For the most part, you'll find Propagandhi I Spy split, and the whole thing generally has the title I'd Rather Be Flag Burning. But I according to some sources, that's the name of the Propagandhi side, and then I Spy's is A Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior.
Which I assume I Spy is the B side, right? Yeah.
At least they're billed as such. So you had a chance to listen to it.
I have, yes.
Just first impressions. What are your thoughts on like the sound of I Spy?
So, if you asked me to like, hey Bill, when was this recorded? I would have been like, it was recorded between the years 1992 and 1995.
Perfect, you nailed it.
Yeah, and it like. All right, now how old are the people making it? I'd say the drummer is 14. There's a 22-year-old in the band, but generally they're about 18 years old. Is what I would guess, you know, around there. And that was really there is nothing to this I Spy side that I had not been exposed to before. It is very much in the vein of the 90s punk. Sounds like the punk band that you and your friends try to form like after you're out of your new metal phase and more into a punk phase. But, you know, this is pre-new metal, so that these guys didn't even have that. Maybe they were into hair metal before, and then they were getting into their punk phase. So
Yeah. I think your ears guided you very much correctly. You nailed the time and place and the approximate ages of the people involved. And I know in your younger years, you've mentioned, I think your hardcore exposure was mostly around the Boston scene.
I grew up in Massachusetts, so yeah, from 1999 to 2006 was my Boston hardcore days, and of being like an active participant in the scene before moving away. So yeah, I spent my teenage to early 20s in one of Boston's golden ages of hardcore.
Okay, and other than the band, I think American Nightmare's from there. I'm not super familiar with Boston hardcore. Like, does I Spy sound anything like that? Is it wildly different?
No, it sounds nothing like it sounds. There was a band in Boston called 12 Cent, which was it sounded like a lot of the local punk bands that would play at VFW halls. Some that jumped to my mind that nobody will know these band names. The Suburban Rejects, 12 Cent, Jeepers H Crackers had a little bit more of a ska influence, and these were all high school kids in bands that played in the suburbs in which I lived. And you would get the cassette tape and be like, this is my favorite band. And you know what? They live one town over, and they work at the Abington Stop and Shop. Can you believe it? But yeah, the Boston hardcore bands that were biggest at that time were your American Nightmares, Suicide File, Have Heart, and then there was some heavier bands like Death Before Dishonor. Unbroken Wings was a big band back then. Black My Heart, and some of like the more meatheady mosh bands. But boy, what a time to be alive back then.
Yeah, totally. Oh, and I forgot that Have Heart came out of that scene as well. But yeah, between American Nightmare and Have Heart, I would say the later Boston sound was considerably heavier than this. That feels very much like just out of the 80s era. Like when I listen to I Spy, like I hear parts of like some Black Flag going on there, but definitely bridges the gap to what would come later.
Yeah,
there's just more going on with like the guitar and kind of the composition of it all compared to a lot of like the more primitive earlier stuff.
On my first listen of this, you know, because the quality isn't that great and it's a rip from a a record onto, a digital file, it's tough
Yeah.
to actually hear some of the more complex guitar stuff that's actually going on. It's like, oh, they are actually doing a little bit more here than just your straightforward. But it's tough to pick out in the mix a little bit. But
for sure, yeah. I in doing research for this, I listened to Todd Kowalski's episode on Turned Out a Punk, which is hosted by Damien from Fucked Up. And I think it was in that episode, Todd said that these tracks are the first time that the band I Spy ever heard themselves recorded. Like, not even during practice did they have like a tape player to record themselves and like make a quick demo. So like what we hear when we listen to this is what they heard the very first time they ever heard their songs played back. So definitely there's a inexperience, there's a youth quality to it that I think definitely comes across in the recording. But yeah, I think your analysis is very much correct. So in listening to these songs, were there any standout tracks to you or any like moments or lyrics that really like grabbed your attention?
I realize now that all the lyrics are on the screen of the YouTube thing, but I kind of listen to it in the background and be like, I'll never know most of the lyrics to these songs, even though they're all right there. But there was one song that stuck out to me. I believe the general theme of it is about like bragging about having sex with a young woman or something like that. And
okay, that is number 2. That's Just Between Friends.
And yeah, the song, obviously I believe the intention of the songwriter is to be like, hey, this is dumb behavior to like be talking like this. However, the danger in recording a song like that is that people take it at face value and be like, this is how we operate, like
absolutely. Yeah.
And that was like the biggest thing that jumped out at me is like, you put out a thing that you think the message is pretty clear. Hey, don't be a dickhead. But then people take it as like hey, these guys are being dickheads, so we can be dickheads. This is great.
Yeah.
But
totally understandable. And I had a very similar experience with hearing that song. So the first link that I found to listen to this when we decided to do this topic didn't have the lyrics, and I was manually transcribing lyrics just so like I had the lyrics for each song, and it was tough. It is hard to hear, and just even if the recording were super hi-fi, I'm terrible at hearing and deciphering lyrics as it is. Like my brain just won't pick on it. I think my brain gets distracted by the guitars and drums and just like can't focus on the words. So the first time I got to that song, I was like, yeah, I had the same reaction of like, I think I understand what they're going for, and I hope this is the theme. I hope the credit that I'm giving them of that they're satirizing this kind of viewpoint is correct. And in the stream that I sent you that has the lyrics, thankfully it was like crisis averted. The last line of that song basically reveals that like everything said before is in quotes, and it says, if we all think like this, like we're doomed. Like it sucks that people actually think like this. So that is in fact like the intended viewpoint of the song. And that's a song that's a topic that I think other bands have tried to address. I don't know if you're familiar with the Black Flag song Slip It In.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that's, depending on your analysis, if you're trying to be generous, you could say that they're trying to do the same thing. But I would say it's much cloudier in that case than it is here. And I tend to think it's more just a creepy song. And retroactively, maybe people have tried to argue that like, no, they're saying that this sucks.
Yeah. Well, on the Black Flag topic, I'm surprised that more people like I've made a joke about it, I think, in Hard Times articles before about like the Trump campaign using White Minority as a song without irony, because that song is such a clear like, no, this is not the viewpoint of Black Flag. We are singing from the point of a dumb person that thinks America is going to become a white minority country and that we're all going to die because of it, and
Donald Trump would play
the people lose the
Minority by
nuance
Black
in
Flag.
songs. They hear what they want to hear, and it's
I didn't know that. I'm surprised that we didn't cover that somehow at Hard Times. But when it comes to the Trump of it all, sometimes it's hard to like top the reality of the situation. Like the joke would be Donald Trump plays Black Flag's white minority, but then he just did it for real.
Yes.
What a wonderful world we live in.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. So with the song, Just Between Friends, it is like one of those touchier subjects that seems harder to even satirize just because the subject matter inherently like would make most listeners uncomfortable. Are there any topics like that as it relates to the Hard Times that like you found that we've never really found a great take on, or like anytime we try it kind of falls on its face, or people tend to read exclusively in bad faith?
You know, as we've been around for nearly 10 years now, a lot of things are just taken in bad faith at this point, where it's just like, we used to be able, when we first started, to make fun of Democrats without it being like, you're Republican, you know, where it's just like, no, we don't like either of these things.
Yeah.
We're actually further to the left of the Democrats. The Democrats are a right-wing party, but now if you make fun of Democrats, that makes you Republican, you know? It's just like, oh, well, that's not the case. So there is, in the highly divided times, people are less willing to get the joke or see themselves in a joke, where it's just like, haha, yeah, that's me and my friends. We are kind of silly like that. But now it's like people get more defensive or something like that. I'm not sure how to explain it, but I'm a vegan straight edge guy. We're not going to stop making fun of vegan straight edge people. I've never been like, no, you can't. Veganism is the only way to live life. And if you're not doing it, then I'm sorry, but we can't make fun of it. It's like, no, there's times when vegan people are annoying or whatever, you know, so we're going to make fun of it. But to answer the question, the one thing that falls the most flat of all things is when there's a headline about a dead dog. Nobody likes a headline about, we have stopped doing any dead animal headlines, because even if it's a funny take in which the animal's not the butt of the joke or whatever, nobody wants to hear it, you know, so we don't even touch it.
Yeah. I think I had maybe one related to a dead pet way back in the day, and I just remember it tanking. And that was in like the Facebook heyday, where like even a bad article would get like minimum 1,000 likes. And I recall that one just did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some topics that maybe are just the topic itself is inherently unfunny and nobody wants to joke about it. And that's one of them. I would say dead kid articles do better than dead pet articles.
Dead kid articles are fine. You know, like you have to look at the news cycle. Like you can't do one like, I mean, we have done jokes after a school shooting. It's never been at the expense of anybody being shot. It is usually at the expense of politicians or people in power that allow these things to keep happening. But people will be like, too soon to joke about this. And it's kind of like, we're not joking, you know, like we're sick of this shit. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, a dead kid article, people look at it and be like, yeah, kids die. But a dead pet article, then it's just like, you're monsters. I don't want to think about the mortality of my pet.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah.
You mentioned being vegan straight edge and having that perspective for the site. And track 6 on this, Ever Wonder Why? It's pretty brief. I think it's like maybe about 30 seconds long, but does seem to allude a lot to like veganism. And there are a lot of bands like of the vegan straight edge scene that kind of have their particular anthems regarding that. Propagandhi has a bunch. Do you have any particular favorite vegan and or straight edge songs that like are in your regular rotation?
I mean, Earth Crisis Firestorm is the straight edge anthem to end all. I mean, Earth Crisis probably has 3 or 4 straight edge songs plus vegan songs that are just like, okay, this is what you want to listen to when you're feeling militant. But yeah, for straight edge stuff, it's a lot easier to make a song just yelling straight edge a bunch of times. It's times where yelling vegan a bunch of times for some reason does not have the same effect one way or another. And so, old Throwdown stuff off their first 2 albums, great straight edge stuff. But yeah, as far as vegan songs specifically, though, that's a lot tougher. I'm sure somebody with a better memory could probably come up with something. But yeah, easy answers: Earth Crisis, Destroy the Machines, or Earth Crisis, Firestorm, or Earth Crisis, Gamora Season Ends.
That's one I have on vinyl.
Yes.
Yeah, that whole album rips. But Propagandhi they have a pretty regular pattern of usually having 1, maybe 2 songs revolving around animal rights, veganism in some form per album. So maybe I'll make a playlist and send it to you, and that may deepen your Propagandhi fandom.
Yes, that would be very much appreciated.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thank you very much for taking some time and listening to this I Spy release. Any other thoughts on the album before I pick your brain about Hard Times questions?
I mean, it is a nice time capsule of what was happening in the basements and garages of teenage punks. Like it's
totally.
It sounds like it's recorded like shit, and it kind of sounds like shit, but you can tell that they're doing their best, and that they can write a punk song. There's nothing about this. So I was like, this is bad. It was like, no, this is perfectly good for the genre in which it is in.
Yeah, totally. And you have an interesting perspective of you're not listening to it through the lens of knowing Todd's work with Propagandhi, because with Nation States, he wasn't even in the band yet. So when I look back and listen to it, I can only hear what would come later with his contributions to the band's catalog, especially the more recent stuff. He does a lot of very complex timing things and composition-wise, and I hear the seeds of that planted in that album, and it's very cool to see how he grew as a songwriter.
Right.
Yeah. So... Oh no, Zoom running out of time. I don't have a pro account. What does that mean? How much time? Oh, we have 10 minutes. Oh, that's perfect, actually, for the time that we have. So I wanted to ask you a few Hard Times questions. Now, I am involved in the Hard Times, but I am a deeply self-centered individual. I mostly pay attention to my articles and my pitches and how they do online. But I had a few things that I think maybe the fandom might be interested in hearing about.
Yes.
Just kind of overall at the Hard Times. So over the years, have there been any particular bands or band fan bases that react like in one extreme or another of super positively about the Hard Times or like super negatively anytime they're mentioned?
Some bands, at this point, we've been around long enough where it is surprising to me when a band will be like, yes, the Hard Times talked about us. Like we did a Newfound Glory headline a few years back, and the bass player Chad Gilbert was like, the Hard Times made fun of us. We've made it. It's like, Chad, I've been listening to you since 1999, so like, I can't believe that to me, the Hard Times is still a small project. Like I'm somewhat aware of the scope of it, but at the same time, now that I'm just focused on it all the time, it's like, well, this is just the job I do. And if people enjoy it, that's great. But there are bands that have not responded well. Alien Ant Farm famously sent us some nasty messages about one of the headline we did about them covering that Michael Jackson song, and be like, none of us ever said this. Who the fuck are you? And it's like, oh wait, you're a joke. Like somebody clued them in, like they're a joke thing. So fan bases the Ween fan base will come out when we do a Ween headline, but they're usually like, yeah, we're all dirtbags. Make fun of us some more. We can take it. We had Brian Fallon on our podcast from the Gaslight Anthem, and all the fans of the Gaslight Anthem love Brian so much, but they hated me and Matt on the podcast. Like, they could not stand Matt or I, like, asking him questions, almost to the point where it was like a jealous lover. Like, why did these guys get to talk to our hero? So that was kind of funny.
Also, how dare you even speak when Brian has the opportunity on a microphone to communicate to us?
Yeah.
You're wasting our times with these questions. Just let him talk, stream of conscious.
Yeah, let him go. Let the man cook.
Yeah. Actually, one that surprised me, I just had an article come out making a joke about the Grateful Dead, and to me, how they sound like a Guitar Center on a Saturday afternoon. Right. And on the Facebook post, there were like, I think like over 100 comments of people like either decrying the article, saying like, oh, the author never listened to Grateful Dead, and then people attacking those fans of like, you're an idiot, how can you like this band? Like, I haven't seen kind of negativity like that on a post in quite some time, and I love reading those.
The world is healing, we're coming back around.
We're back. Are there any punk bands that you think are particularly good at combining like humor and comedy with their music, or is that like a dicey proposition where usually a band's only good at one at the other?
So I don't know if there's any bands that are like laugh out loud funny, but humor injected into music was like, in my late teenage years, the power violence bands Charles Bronson and Spaz basically informed a lot of my comedic sensibilities of like, we're going to do something that sounds serious, but not be very serious about it at all.
Yes.
And that sort of thing is like deeply ingrained. Like, oh, that's how you deliver it and make it work. You can't tilt your hand ever and be like, oh, we're just joking around here. You play it straightforward. And if people get it, they get it. If they don't get it, they don't get it. And sorry, you're not enjoying it at the same level that somebody else might who actually gets it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but I'm trying to think if anybody comes to mind for me. I know NoFX tries a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know that they always succeed at landing their jokes. I tend to like the music maybe more than the lyrics or subject matter. But
yeah, I think like NoFX has that like kind of just goofy sensibility to them, where it's just like, you listen to a song like Bob and it's not a serious song, it's just like, and I think I got turned on to NoFX through, I heard they suck live, and so all the between song banter was just like, oh, they want to be comedians very badly.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the phrase around Hollywood that every comedian wants to be a musician and every musician wants to be a comedian.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Last question. Are you sick of punk music? Do you ever wish you could just like kick back to some Kenny G or maybe write some jokes about classical music?
I wouldn't say I'm sick of punk music, but if you looked at my Spotify listening history for what I listen to during the day as I'm working, you'd be like, this person is not the editor of the Hard Times. Like currently, I think what I listen to just in the background is like a Gin Blossoms radio,
Okay.
And we're just like, all right, well, and the reasoning is I want some 90s music that I'm familiar with, but it's not going to challenge me in any way to be like, I got to listen to that guitar part. If anything, it's just like, oh, this kind of reminds me of going swimming with my mom and my brother over the summer. All right, that puts me in a nicer headspace to edit these drafts as I'm watching the sunset on a nice day. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm inside on a computer.
Totally understandable. All right, Bill, I promised that we would bring this all full circle at the end of this conversation. And the whole reason I even found this podcast or got involved or started talking with people on the Discord was because for the Hard Times, I wrote an article ranking Propagandhi's discography. It was very controversial amongst this community. But one thing that wasn't controversial were most of the play it again choices. And I don't know if you remember this, but when I pitched it, you said, this sounds good, but you have to choose one, like I'm exercising editorial control. One song has to be one of the Play It Agains. Do you remember which song that was?
Was it Nation States?
It was in fact Nation States. Okay. Yeah, I think there's a note of like, you said it's one of the greatest punk songs of all time. You have to choose this as a Play It Again.
Would that have been, if I wasn't forcing you, would it have been your Play It Again from that album?
Oh, it would have been a toss-up between that and The Only Good Fascist is a Very Dead Fascist.
Okay. Geez, what could that song be about?
Veganism. No, I'm kidding. No, I agree. Nation States is one of the greatest punk songs of all time. I think some people involved in the podcast are a little over it at this point, but I'm not, and I never will be. So, Bill Conway, thank you so much for coming on Unscripted Moments, a podcast about Propagandhi and occasionally I Spy. Do you have any plugs? Where can people find you?
Always go over to thehardtimes.net for your greatest, the only news you can trust. It's really, and we have a Patreon. If you enjoy the Hard Times and want to be a part of the community that keeps it afloat, we have a Patreon. All that money goes directly into John's pockets whenever he writes an article. It's just straight to him, and that's patreon.com/thehardtimes, and you get early access to articles. We do a podcast every week too, breaking down music videos, which is pretty fun. And so if you are a fan of the Hard Times, there are ways to support the Hard Times financially by joining the Patreon, or more by just sharing an article. That helps too, so just be involved with the things. And that goes for anything on the internet. If you like something on the internet, interact with it, because that's what keeps it alive. If you see an article or something on Instagram, like it, no matter who it is. If you're a fan of that, like it, share it, do these things. That's what helps these things stay afloat, not just the Hard Times, but the entire internet that you enjoy.
Yeah. Click on it, click the link, load the page, look at the ads.
Yeah. Yeah. Lock in.
Keep the few good things on the internet alive.
Right. Everything's going away. The internet is turning into a shithole. So try to stave that off for another 3 years or so.
There we go. Bill Conway, thank you.
Thank you.
And we're back here in the Morning Zoo. We've got Goldblum and the Doofus. I got nothing. That was a wonderful interview. Bill Conway is a fascinating character.
He very much is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Love working with him. He's a great boss. Ever since our interview, I don't think I've had any articles approved to being right, so I assume that I did something to deeply offend him in our chat.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've deeply offended me many times already, so I get it.
The one thing I loved about that interview was learning the one topic that has never landed with our audience, and that is dead pets. It is just nobody will like it, nobody will share it, and the fact that articles where the joke is about a dead kid does better than a dead dog is pretty revealing. And
yeah, that weirds me out as a parent who's allergic to all animals, therefore has no pets. That being said, I love to make jokes about my children. I love to make really mean jokes about them, not to their faces. Only behind their back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you. I grew up on South Park of watching Kenny get mutilated week after week after week, and it took me a couple decades to grow up past that.
Yeah, that's pretty common of either your or our generation. I'm not sure how close we are in age. Couldn't be.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But we're in the ballpark, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm married with kids, and you're getting married.
I am, yeah. So we're getting into these advanced stages of life. We're leveling up, as they say.
Yeah. So before we jump into our final segment, how's wedding planning going?
I was about to say it's going, but I don't know how true that is. Finding a place in Los Angeles is no easy task within a certain budget and size. So
just do Spago.
Pavement. What?
Just do Spago.
You keep referencing that place that I've never been and only vaguely have an idea where it is.
Okay, fine. Then do it at the Grove.
Could do. Well, actually, I don't know if you could do it at the Grove, but that would be fun. There is a nice farmer's market there.
Okay, I'm trying to come up with all my LA locations. Is Meltdown Comics still there?
No, that is gone, but I did once help work a Hard Times stand-up comedy event there, which is the first and last time I was ever like a ticket taker / cashier.
Oh,
I did poorly, I don't think quickly on my feet at all.
There's a new limited series available in Canada on the streaming service Crave, co-produced by APTN, which is the Aboriginal People's Television Network. I'm not sure if it's available in the States. It's called Don't Even, and in it, I do some background acting work in a scene that takes place at a punk rock show in 1998 at a place called the Pyramid Cabaret. I am the ticket taker. I'm the door guy, and you can see me clearly at the door in one scene in the last episode, taking tickets for people to come to this punk show. And I'm wearing my...
Fantastic.
I'm wearing my period correct Propagandhi I'd rather be flag burning t-shirt.
Bringing it home.
That's what I was trying to do here, yeah. It's a real segue moment that I probably purchased around 1998.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
When was that shot? What year?
This was shot last summer.
Oh, okay.
So it was shot about a year ago.
Nice.
And it just came out. It's actually really good. I very much enjoyed it. I'm not your mileage may vary if you weren't in Winnipeg going to punk shows in 1998, but it's a really good show. It's called Don't Even. I'd suggest checking it out.
Don't Even on Crave. You heard
Crave.
it here. Maybe first. I don't know.
Likely first, because unless you're Canadian, you might not even have access to it. I really have no idea how that
I don't know
works.
if I do.
Well, I know
either.
Crave is Canada only. It's
okay.
But
maybe there's some VPN trickery that one can do.
Yeah, there's I don't know why they wouldn't have it like for free on like Tubi or something like that for Americans or something, one of those free streaming services.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a great experience of pretending to take tickets while wearing an I'd Rather Be Flag Burning shirt. And I'd Rather Be Flag Burning is my favorite Propagandhi release because I'm one of those.
Wow.
I'm one of those assholes who likes like the weird, obscure early stuff. Like that's sort of my vibe. But today we are going to talk about side 2 of I'd Rather Be Flag Burning, Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior by the Mighty I Spy, a band that Chris Hanna has referred to as the best band in Winnipeg.
Wow. High praise. Yes, I Spy from Regina, later Winnipeg. What is your familiarity with I Spy prior to, I guess, this episode? I guess it would have been whenever you got the I Rather Be Flag Burning, correct?
Yeah, I've been familiar with them from the flag burning. I've been trying to find a copy of their discography record, Perversity is Spreading, It's About Time, I think is the name of it, which is really hard to find a physical copy of. It's not streaming anywhere. I have a rip of the entire thing from YouTube. That's one long MP3 that I haven't cut up into segments yet.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm, kind of lazy like that.
Yeah.
But they were just one of those bands where, like, I remember seeing when I was younger flyers with their name and other sort of Winnipeg bands like Red Fisher and Painted Thin and Urban Sprawl, who always had Sting from WCW on their posters for some reason, which totally ruled.
That's a great visual theme.
Oh yeah, it was always like Sting flexing. Old surfer Sting with the blonde spiky hair. But I've never seen them as far, I think. I've said this on every episode. My memory's a little hazy due to some brain issues in the past, but I don't think I ever saw them. I'm pretty confident I never saw them. Because, they broke up when I was 12.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And while I had seen a few shows before I was 12, I don't think I saw them.
I don't know if I even went to a concert by the time I was 12. And I definitely hadn't heard of I Spy when I was younger. They're quite new to me. I only started to hear the name as my Propagandhi obsession deepened, and I started getting into listening to this podcast and also Chris Hanna's A Catastrophic Break with Consensus Reality podcast.
A catastrophic break with consensus reality.
Does this count as a cover?
Yeah, I'm going to call that the cover.
Our
That's the cover.
Official cover
It's
for
a
the
Greg
episode. There we go.
a Greg McPherson cover, we'll call that.
We got one.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, I knew we could do it.
But yeah, so I'd heard I Spy discussed on this podcast, but I hadn't listened until we came up with the idea to guest host an episode, and we were debating different topics to do, and you threw out I Spy. So I gave it a listen and instantly became a fan of especially this release.
It's so
These songs
good.
are fantastic.
It's so good. Like, I'm not like, it's melodic hardcore adjacent. It's weirdly poppy at times, but like in a beautiful, brilliant way. Oh,
Totally.
so good.
And it really, I think I mentioned this in my interview with Bill Conway, but it really bridged the gap from like the punk of the 80s that I really like into the punk of like the later 90s that I really like.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Let's get some basic facts of I Spy on the record.
Okay.
So hard information is a little tricky to find about them beyond their Wikipedia article online, largely because they broke up in 96 before every fact about every band was multiple places on the internet.
Yeah.
But their Wikipedia, if it is to be trusted, seems to be a pretty good source of information. So I Spy was founded in 1991 in Regina, Saskatchewan. The original lineup was Todd Kowalski on guitar and vocals, James Ash on drums,
And vocals.
Juan David Guerrero on bass, and Jeremy Van Dusen on guitar. And then in 1995, a year before they broke up, there was a bit of a lineup shakedown where Juan David Guerrero left as bassist and Sean Tallarico came in, and Jeremy Van Dusen also left, leading it to be a one guitar act in the final year. There are a few releases. There's a demo from 1993, which I didn't happen to find any rips of. Do you know if there are any YouTube?
Not that I've seen. I'm trying to think. I don't think they're on Perversity is Spreading, are they? They might be, but I don't. That's also
I guess if they are, they would
about.
be on there. But then we have this release, I'd Rather Be Flag Burning, 1994, Revenge of the Little Shits in 1995, a split with the band But Alive, also in 95, and then Perversity is Spreading, It's About Time in 1998, which was kind of a posthumous release, released on G7 Welcoming Committee. And according to Discogs.com, there are a couple other appearances on like compilations and splits. So there's some miscellaneous tracks out there as well. Yeah, so not a massive discography. You can probably get through all of the recorded material in less than an hour or so.
Yeah, I mean whatever the running time of this is, I guess.
Yeah.
Which
the
is going to
running
be less
time
than 74 minutes. Because that's the
for
max.
which one?
The whole thing is going to be less than 74 minutes because that's the max time for a CD.
There you go.
Yeah. Logic.
Yeah. And according to Wikipedia, the intro statement about the band is that they combine childish humor and politically oriented emotive hardcore. And that kind of inspired my talk with Bill Conway, the humor part of it. I would say there's not a whole lot of humor on this release. And I think as they went on in their career, a lot of that humor kind of came with their song titles and album artwork, while the lyrics and music stayed fairly serious throughout, I would say.
Yeah, and like even just the cover of this one on their side, it is a cartoon of a soldier having just shot a little girl in the face.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that exactly sketch comedy.
No, I mean it's no Rita Rudner. That's my go-to reference for stand-up comedians.
Yeah,
I'm a million years old, everybody.
So this, according to Todd's interview on the Turned Out a Punk podcast, he said that this release, A Guide to Excruciatingly Correct Behavior, is the first time that the band heard themselves recorded. So what you're hearing, these recorded tracks, is the first time they're hearing themselves back. Apparently there was an initial mix that they did not care for. I think Todd mentioned that in your chat with him.
Yeah, and then it got remixed by John Sutton, who then after that became the bass player in the Weaker Thens for their first 2 / best albums.
Oh, wow. Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And I believe you also came across some info about the recording of this, correct?
Yeah, my understanding is this, like it said, the liner notes do list that it's recorded at God of Thunder Studios in Winnipeg, which is also where Propagandhi did their side. Now, again, unreliable narrator here. This is my piecing together memory. These could be completely erroneous facts. I believe that studio was owned by Brad Roberts, the singer for the Crash Test Dummies. If people remember them for their big hits,
I sure do.
Superman song or whatever it was called. And that, I believe, for the Winnipeg folks, was in the basement of a house in the Corden area, right near Corden and Stafford, just behind what used to be a Chicken Delight. That's my best memory of this, but again, unreliable narrator. I'm doing my best. Please don't be mean.
If memory serves me correctly, Chris Hanna has made mention of that same studio on his podcast, though I don't recall specifically which recording that would have been for.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure. But as Matt Gorley says on the James Bonding podcast, lovers not experts.
There we go. Yeah. I do not claim to be the definitive I Spy expert.
No.
I don't know who that would be, but just some other kind of miscellaneous facts that I've written down is the band name was originally Clump, though did Todd debunk that?
He talked about that a little bit, how Clump, they were Clump before he joined, I think. Again, I haven't listened back to that interview since I did it, so I don't have a full memory. You'd probably have that a bit more. But he definitely clarified a little bit of the band, the Clump name, and where that sort of fits in.
Yeah.
Although there's some talk about the name of the band in the liner notes here. And it says, I Spy. Yeah, it's a ridiculous name, so what? So are we. Be on the lookout for I Spy, the television series, the ska band, the book, etc. No, we didn't get the name from No for an Answer or DK, which I assume is Dead Kennedys. We came up with it ourselves. Original. To all the other bands called I Spy, sue us and face the one and only I Spy. Ha! So, hey, I'm here for that.
I love that they gave free promo to the television show I Spy.
Yeah!
Very magnanimous of them.
And wasn't I Spy, wasn't that a show with, like, Cosby? Wasn't Cosby on I Spy?
Oh, I think you might be correct.
Yeah!
That is ringing a bell. Ooh, okay. Well, I mean, in the 90s.
We didn't know. Perfect. We didn't know.
Yeah. Did not know.
Yes.
Let's see what. So if you go on, there is a Facebook I Spy account, and it appears to be run by Todd.
Ooh.
It's not super active, but from about 2012, I think, to 2022, maybe like once or twice a year, Todd would either find photos from back in the day or somebody would send him photos, and he would upload a few and tag people and
that rules.
Try to... Yeah, it's fascinating. Definitely recommend looking on there. But from there, I was able to glean that there was a tour in 1993 and 1994 across Western Canada with Propagandhi. And then I Spy also did 2 tours with the band But Alive from Germany.
Mm-hmm. They all did a split with them as well.
What?
They put out a split with But Alive.
Oh, yes, they did. So they must have been tight with them. They did a European tour in 95 and then a Canadian tour in 96, which would have been right before I Spy broke up, and Todd would have then joined Propagandhi.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you want to get into the you want to soup to nuts this thing, as they say? Get into it.
Let's get it. Let's do
see what my poor memory remembers.
Breakdown.
So I can't believe the things that you've said, that have been said by you about the track Remain.
Track Remain. I mean, it's the first you hear from I Spy.
It rules.
It kicks off their side of the album so fantastically. And it's pretty different than what I expected something a Propagandhi member to write. It's super high energy, super fast, and it really harkens back to that initial first wave kind of like Rites of Spring emo. And I mean emo in the most positive way imaginable.
Oh, the way that I like it. the way that I'm always trying to promote it instead of everybody going off about My Chemical Romance. Ugh.
I love the whole pantheon of emo from the Genesis to whatever's coming out today. So this song does it.
That makes me feel good as somebody who just released what I realized later after the fact was an emo record. So thank you for
and a
liking
fantastic
the whole thing.
one.
Oh,
Paul
no.
is Dead by
No,
Paul
no,
Hodgert.
no. You stop that. That's not what I was going for. I was just making a
Available
joke.
on all streaming
I was
services
just
now.
making a joke about I'm a 40-year-old dad who made an emo record.
But it is great, and people should
Stop
listen
it.
to it.
Stop it.
But yeah, so there are 8 tracks on this side of the album, and I starred 3 of them as being particular standout favorites, and Remain, right out of the gates, is one of those.
Banger. Absolutely slaps.
Yeah, totally. Lyrically, it's pretty straightforward, kind of classical emo, in that it's like really examining feelings and emotions.
Those same old emotions remain is one of the lines.
Yeah. And I think that's a pretty stark contrast from the emo that came later, which was usually about heartbreak and or other people.
It was always directed out instead of inward.
Yes.
And inward is so much more interesting.
Oh yeah, it's like very philosophical and self-analytical, and like it predates the whole self-therapy movement of the online world by decades. Really cool. And I'm sure at the time probably required a significant amount of bravery to write something like that and go up on stage and sing it compared to what a lot of other bands were doing at the time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we move on.
From
Next,
there,
we've got Just Between Friends.
Yes. And this one, kind of the most satirical song of the batch, I would say. And I think to modern listeners might come across as a little jarring at first. This is a thing that I talked about in my interview with Bill, where the theme of the song is kind of guys who use women as part of some sexual conquest, as some competition amongst their friends to look cool, to look like the most accomplished
like
sexually
a stud.
Exactly. Yeah. And so the final line of the song really brings it home, where he says, when people think like this and that attitude is spread, the dream is dead. And it kind of reveals that like all the lyrics prior to that are in quotes and are very much mocking, and the tone is derisive towards people who think like that. Yeah.
Like I sort of take this as a song about how we all talk about sexism and patriarchy is negatively affecting women, which obviously they're affected the most, but guys who think that they have the power, this is affecting you in negative ways too. This sexism and patriarchy are bad for everyone.
Truly.
Like it's not worth trying to cling to because of some power dynamic that shitty men seem to really get off on. Like it's sort of it's cheating all of us in that, like, I for all of my life have struggled with friendships with women because I don't want them to think that I'm trying to pick up on them or sleep with them or something, and it's sort of screwed me out of potentially very meaningful friendships, that because due to the way society perceives those types of relationships, there's the assumption that I'm just trying to be a real creeper. And that's sort of what I feel like this song is trying to get across, because that shit sucks too.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't want to take away from the fact that the main and primary and lion's share of the victims are women of patriarchy and sexism. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to be like, it's real bad for men, you should feel bad for us. No. But I'm trying to speak to other men saying, these aren't good things. It's bad for you too, you selfish prick.
Yeah, totally. It really drives home the point that, like, until we started getting these messages out there, bands like I Spy and Propagandhi, and then, you know, thought leaders in this world started challenging the societal expectations and kind of the groupthink that we all inherited is inherently flawed when it comes to these dynamics.
Groupthink, nice. We're getting real heady, man.
Look, that's my last intelligent thought. I'll be able to.
Hey man, did you
turn
read
out.
fucking Orwell? Because we're like living in it right now, bro.
But yeah,
sorry to be
no,
a prick. I'm sorry.
It's very refreshing to hear people talk about this and people in the punk rock world, because Propagandhi did it in like Refusing to Be a Man. I Spy did it even a little bit earlier.
Even Propagandhi did it in This Might Be Satire.
True. Yeah.
Which they even flat out said it's the kind of song where they have to point out this is satire from the very beginning, because that song could just be another shitty band song.
Yeah, totally. So I'm thankful for these bands kind of challenging things early.
Oh, yeah.
And that we're only now starting to tackle as a society en masse in much more recent years. So then from track 2, Just Between Friends, we go to No Exchange, which musically is a bit of a switch up. It's like a little more major key. This kind of hints at like the early pop punk, kind of reminiscent of the Descendants a bit. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And this is kind of the classic punk theme at the time, which is like, will not be a slave to money.
Jobs suck, man.
Look, they do.
I agree. I love my job, but I'd rather not have to have one.
Yeah. I've had jobs that I love. I have jobs that I don't like. I've run the gamut. And a theme like this is unfortunately like timeless and universal.
Yeah, especially currently in late capitalism, where you have to have a few usually to make things work. It boggles my mind that I might be the last generation to own a house.
Yeah. And I might be the first generation for that to not be an option,
Yeah,
especially in
that's
Los
super
Angeles,
fucked.
California.
That is so fucked.
Yeah, it is bleak. But so, yeah, this song does definitely stir something within me every time I hear it regarding those themes. It is unfortunately timeless, but this was written at a time where it did seem more feasible for a band to exist being a band without quote unquote selling out, whether that's having a full-time job on the side or doing whatever you can to desperately get the attention of a major label, which in the wake of Green Day, a lot of bands started doing.
Oh yeah, when All gets signed, you know, they're like, I love All, and that their major label record is great, but when All is getting signed, you know they're just throwing money at the wall, because All, while great and poppy and catchy, were never visually particularly commercial, and it seemed like a weird choice.
Sure, and both I Spy and Propagandhi never did anything resembling making themselves more accessible.
No, if anything, they went the other way.
Yeah. Later I Spy albums there's the one that depicts like the crudely drawn like battle scene that I think if you look closely, maybe the one side's heads are buttholes. Am I remembering?
Yes,
this
you're thinking of Perversity is Spreading, the cover of that, where they're shitting on the Pope.
No. So there's that one. There's the shitting on the Pope, which is...
I'm terribly sorry, sir.
Yes. No, also not a turn towards accessibility. But I believe Revenge of the Little Shits, there are some like low-res images on Discogs if you want to check out the cover. Maybe it's open to interpretation. But yeah, I Spy certainly stood by the words of this song in their ethos later into their career.
I'm pulling up Revenge of the Little Shits right here.
Yeah. Tell me if my analysis is correct.
Let me see here.
I'm Googling it as well.
Oh, those look like little buttholes and fighting little shits on a mountaintop.
Yes.
Or
I don't know
in a
what else
valley.
the team on the left could be.
Asterixes. Just a bunch of asterixes. It's basically the footnotes versus the chocolate swirlies.
Could be chocolate ice cream and footnotes.
Yeah, you know what? I think we've cracked the code on that one.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, from No Exchange, we get to TIY, Title It Yourself. And this is another classic punk theme, which is calling out your scene, calling out the people who are talking trash behind your back. This is a great song and another one that has the little star icon next to me.
Oh yeah,
This is
a favorite.
top 3 favorites from this release, despite its incredibly short length.
I love that in the liner notes, his little description thing calls out fanzines, a thing that we would now say blogs, but man, I miss fanzines.
I came to punk past the fanzine era, so that's a thing I never really got to experience, but I love hearing the elders of the scene talk about it because it sounds like a magical time.
Yes and no, and I'm not even quite old enough to have been fully immersed in zine culture, but I did love picking up zines. I got a handful of old Comet Bus issues and stuff like that, if you're familiar with...
Was that a local
zine?
No.
Aaron Comet Bus, who was the drummer for Pinhead Gunpowder, he famously is like good friends with Billy Joe Armstrong.
Okay.
Billy Joe Armstrong was in Pinhead Gunpowder, and he famously had his zine Comet Bus, which was just his writing, and they're fantastic. I even have like a bound Comet Bus omnibus.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, his stuff's great. But that to me was like my main I had a couple of local things here and there, but I didn't hold on to them like an idiot. So my main collection of zines now are old issues of Comet Bus.
How could you know?
Yeah.
But at least you still have the Comet Bus in the library. You got that preserved.
Definitely.
Yeah. One thing I love about this song is the final line is our shitty band created a discussion.
Yes!
And if that wasn't true then, it's certainly true as of the recording of this podcast.
We are literally
fulfilled.
Having a discussion.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And they did write a lot of thought-provoking songs, so I think they were correct at the time, too.
Oh, yeah. I have a soft spot in my heart for calling out the scene songs because it is just one of those delightfully high school petty punk things that I find just so endearing.
But it's so relatable. Anybody can relate to that in any like social sphere of their life.
Oh yeah, people
friends,
do that at work. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Families sometimes too.
Yeah, for sure. Track 5, Falling Down. This one's interesting. This one sounds the most kind of inspired by like 80s hardcore. I hear a little bit of Black Flag in this.
Love me some Black Flag.
So do I. Kind of a controversial pick. I feel like people love shitting on Black Flag anymore.
Oh, because Greg Ginn's the worst, and that's a totally reasonable position to have.
Yeah, and Henry Rollins has his moments of going between visionary titan of punk and also kind of insufferable.
Oh yeah, I'd say he's full on insufferable, but in a way that I can deal with, you know?
Yeah, totally. And they have all their own eras as well. Kind of hard to think of them as one thing when they've been so many different things across time, but that's the band that Falling Down reminds me of the most.
Okay, hold on. You said, which song did you say was next?
This is Falling Down, track 5.
Okay, because on Wikipedia it calls it Digging a Grave.
Oh, where did I get I wonder if I got Falling Down from the YouTube rip. It was uploaded by Beerbong 1988.
Well, I will say that Digging a Grave isn't even on the liner notes here.
Interesting. I wonder if now all of our tracks are misaligned and I have notes for something incorrect.
Oh, and No Exchange is on the liner notes, but not on the Wikipedia as well. That's fun.
This is a mystery.
Because
I'm going primarily off this YouTube
isn't
rip.
there either. This is fun. All right, let's keep going.
Let's keep going. We got track, what for me might be track 6, Ever Wonder Why. It's another shorter song that is seems to be one of the animal rights inspired.
I'm guessing that one makes sense. It's really short, right? 36 seconds.
Very short.
Yeah. So that's listed here is because they can't speak for themselves. Fucker.
Okay.
So this is making some more sense now. They just have different names on here.
Got it. Is that track 6 on yours?
Yeah, but Ever Wonder Why is track 6 here.
Yeah. And this one is like a bit of a spoken word thing, perhaps also inspired by Black Flag, but I think spoken word might have been getting a little more popular at that time.
Are you the family man? That's the...
I do think that is the worst Black Flag song.
It's right up there. That's very true.
I did a Black Flag ranking for the Hard Times, and I placed that in last place.
The Family Man 12
lower than their 2013 album, What the?
Ooh, that's a controversial take. What the is real bad.
It is, but I think musically, if you take the artwork and the lyrics and singing out, musically, it's like pretty classic Black Flag, and like
late,
I think
late
it
period
works.
Black Flag, because Black Flag are like 6 different bands.
That's true. Yeah, I guess mid to late period, but Family Man is a thing I never want to hear. But I do love Todd's take on the animal rights topic, where it's like expressing regret for like what he used to do, and kind of illustrates his awakening. I think that's an interesting way. It feels very like honest, kind of ripped from the diary style of approaching the topic.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he's talking about when he was wearing leather and eating food, he's still in love with them for their beauty, but he was taught not to care. I think that's a nice little bit there.
Yeah, totally. And then from there we go to my favorite song on this release, which on my version I have listed as 60 Billion Served.
That's what I have as well, yes.
Okay. This song is fantastic.
Oh, it's real good.
Yeah. And I think this song, more than any other one here, kind of foreshadows what Todd would do much later in Propagandhi. There's a lot of complex guitar harmonies going on, a lot of complex parts, weird timing. And I think the song this reminds me the most of is Negredo.
Oh, interesting.
At least musically, compositionally speaking. I love this song. It's so good. And I wish that this compilation were on streaming in some form, so that I could like save this to like my workout playlist and my driving playlists. I would be blasting this everywhere.
Sure. I remember I had a comp with this on it pretty early on, this particular track. I can't remember what it was though, because it wasn't on the Take Penicillin Now comp. That had Just Between Friends.
Oh, okay. Was that the only I Spy song on that comp?
I think so.
Yeah, I kept getting confused because I was thinking like, oh, this must be the animal rights song, but it's not. I thought it was referencing like McDonald's. But this song seems to be more about like class struggle, oppression, and kind of encouraging the listener to wake up to these problems that exist in the world instead of just being self-centered and focusing on your own life. Does that track with the lyrics that you're able to see?
Yeah,
in
it's
the
definitely
booklet?
about like it's definitely talking. Let me pull up. There was a line here. Today, freedom is bought and sold. It's definitely about the sort of corporatization of news and democracy.
Yeah.
And how
and there's the line like, you're just doing what you're told. So challenging the listener to look past just the base mainstream kind of messages that we receive in life.
Yeah, and then talking a little bit about why should you be proud of your country. The country doesn't stand for people from birth to death. Like it stands for corporations. It's sort of the vibe that they're going for there.
Totally. But just an absolute banger of a song.
Oh, hell yeah.
And this leads us into the finale, Appliances and Cars.
Appliances. I really like this one.
This is a great one, too. Yeah, it starts off much slower than really any of the other songs. A little more sparse arrangement for parts of it. And this one seems to be about like protecting the sanctity of music, and probably specifically like punk music.
Yeah, this is the one that has the quote about how punk, how no matter how big punk gets, it can never be bought out. So that's which, now that I think about it, he would have been probably reacting to like the Nirvana mainstreaming
probably
at this point.
Nirvana had Offspring broke by this point?
No, Offspring was also 94, so they wouldn't have quite broken yet. But it's going to be the Nirvana and all of the people that got signed on the tails of Nirvana.
Yeah, yeah.
Which includes Green Day and Offspring, right? Well, actually, Offspring never got signed until their second huge album. Their first big album was on Epitaph, which is where Propagandhi are now.
It is.
Which is weird. I don't know why.
Interesting side note that last summer, Epitaph had tour dates for Propagandhi for, I think today. I think it was like middle of September. And we on the Discord did some sleuthing, messaged the band. It turns out they had no idea where those dates came from. But it said like September 2024 in San Francisco, and I was ready to like drive up there to see them.
Fucking Mr. Brett just trying to mess with you.
Yeah. Thanks, Bad Religion, for getting my hopes up.
More like,
but yeah,
worse than Bad Religion. I don't know.
So that brings us to the end of the I Spy side of this release.
And it slaps straight up and down. It
really
slaps.
does slap.
This band should have been huge. Like, it bums me out. Like, I love having Todd and Propagandhi, but it bums me out how huge I Spy I feel like they could have been.
Yeah. I think they went to lengths to kind of make sure they wouldn't become
big time.
huge. You could call it, it's either intentional or maybe self-sabotage, but
because of all those appliances and cars. Like, that song basically lays out why they didn't want to. And that's fair. Yeah. I can get that.
And I think they stayed true to their ethos across all of their careers. A lot of the members are playing in different bands now. Jeremy Van Dusen, who plays guitar, he now makes guitars.
Yep.
Just like Beeve, as you talked about with Todd in your interview. Yeah, two members of Propagandhi or Propagandhi adjacent related bands are now like boutique guitar manufacturers. Luthiers. That is the correct nomenclature, yeah. And they make very cool looking guitars.
Yeah.
Like, they have unique styles that you don't typically see in a Guitar Center.
Like, I'm not a huge fan of 7-string guitars or these sort of like angled frets, but I know some people are.
Yeah.
And I bet
I'm excited to hear. I believe Todd is recording guitars, not just bass, but a guitar track with his Strange Earth guitar.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Yeah, and that is made by Beeve, David Gillis?
I've never really known how to pronounce that name. I just call him Beeve.
I'm not sure, but shout out to the Beeve.
The Beeve!
And Strange Earth Guitars.
To Winnipeg folks, shout out to Buckley and Beeve as well, if you're Winnipeg and of a certain age. I also had the chance to see Beeve's band Agassi recently.
How was that experience?
Oh, they were great, and he plays his guitars at those shows. And I believe our good friend Jamie Fougere, and I say I believe as if I don't know this for a fact because I was standing next to him, shot the whole thing, and he has recently sent me the audio, asking me to do a little bit of an audio cleanup, so hopefully I can find the time to get that done.
Oh, awesome. And you did the audio cleanup of Propagandhi's recent 3-piece show.
I did. I don't have any of the plugins I used for that anymore, so this one's going to be a bit more work.
A little tougher?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was for their fundraiser for a couple different Palestinian relief funds.
Correct.
Which is excellent show. Thank you to you and Jamie for your work on that, because then we got to enjoy that. That is up on YouTube.
It's a great show. It's got tons of
great show. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Agassi show was them opening for Dead Bob, which is the drummer from No Means No, his newish project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another band who's been referenced a lot on this podcast. Fantastic stuff.
We stood by John K. Sampson during that set. He was wearing a Jawbreaker t-shirt and a fashion scarf.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
He's styling.
Yeah.
That's a great combination.
And I love Jawbreaker, so I was like, yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm here for it.
Oh, man. Well, that brings us to the end of this release. Do you have any other thoughts on I Spy as a whole, or Todd's growth as a musician?
I think Todd's growth as a musician has been incredible. We talked a little bit about the sort of transition. I'm not sure if this was in the recording or after, the transition from guitar to bass, which is one that I've made myself. And just like going from being a pretty thrashy but guitar player to being like a bass player with like quite a startling amount of finesse. Like, his playing has way more finesse than you would expect from a band like them, or from a dude who just looks like Todd. Todd does not look like a finesse player, but he is.
Especially on stage.
Oh yeah, when he's the one pumping those arms
and thrashing around, but also his lines are so intricate.
Yeah.
Because like in a lot of, I would say, Propagandhi's contemporary kind of peer bands, I mean, Propagandhi's peerless, but the people who are closest
in their scene,
yeah, a lot of people who play bass could probably get away with just hammering the root note for the entire show. Todd does not do that. There are licks and melodies all over the place on his bass parts, and it really keeps it interesting.
Well, and I'd recommend anybody who's just really interested, the YouTube channel Low End University has done a couple of playthroughs, like first time reactions from a bass teacher to Todd's parts. And he's just like blown away. He was blown away by I think the first one he watched was Failed Imagineer. He was just blown away by the songwriting, and he basically came away because he's doing a series of like checking out punk for the first time after having been like a prog and metal guy, and he was just blown away by Propagandhi in general, like the songwriting and the playing and the arrangements. And on his Patreon, he did a full. Pardon?
If he's starting off with Propagandhi, he's going to be disappointed by the rest of the punk pantheon.
He went through like he did a reaction video to like NoFX's Decline and some Rancid stuff. Like the people are telling him which ones to check out, so that he is getting good bass stuff. But the Propagandhi stuff, he liked it so much that he did a Patreon full listen to of of Victory Lap. And like he's now refers to them as like one of his new favorite bands, because like if you're a metal prog guy trying to get into punk and you hear Propagandhi, that's gonna be the band you're gonna love first. Because are they even a punk band anymore?
Victory Lap.
Yeah, but are they even a punk band anymore? Who knows? Who cares? Progressive thrash.
Yeah, they really. Not many bands defy genre. I know a lot of bands would like to and try to, especially when they talk about genre in interviews. But they are a band that like ever since, really starting with Today's Empires, is just hard to pigeonhole under one musical term or genre or category.
Progressive thrash. Have you not seen the poster at, Records on Wheels?
I have not.
I'm
so sorry.
That's the poster. Progressive thrash band looking for bass player is the poster that John Sampson saw and called.
Okay.
John Sampson might have been one of the other guys, but that's the poster they put up to get a bass player.
Okay. Hell yeah. I wonder, we've been talking a lot about Todd, but I often wonder what John Sampson's relationship is with the Propagandhi material that he played on. Like, what are his thoughts on it? What does he think about it anymore? I wonder that about like Todd's thoughts about these I Spy songs too.
I do know that in his solo live tour with the band, one of the last ones he did, John would take the bass and do a medley of Anchorless and Gifts.
Oh, that rules.
Which is totally sick, obviously. And he also covered Jawbreaker's The Boat Dreams from the Hill, which for a guy like me is totally dope, because I love Jawbreaker.
That rules. Yeah, Gifts is my favorite Samson song.
It's a great song.
The Propagandhi discography.
I've taken the number 18 North Main bus, and I know exactly who the slightly insane on the 18 North Main are.
There you go.
His references to Winnipeg are so specific. It's really beautiful living here and being able to see them.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I think this brings us to the end of the episode. Any final closing thoughts before we wrap this up and ship this back to Greg and Steve?
Not to put too fine a point on it, but I Spy rules.
Yeah.
Todd rules.
Yeah.
This split both sides rule.
Absolutely.
It's my favorite Propagandhi release and the only I Spy one I own, so I guess it's probably my favorite I Spy one as well. Like, I think
so now
good.
It is incumbent on me to acquire a version of this, whether it's hunting on Discogs or eBay or whatever.
Yeah, it is so good. I wish it was on streaming, but I know that Todd just doesn't give a shit. Yeah, and I kind of respect that. Like, I respect it. Yeah. That's sick as hell.
He's probably moved on. This is a very different phase of life for him. So I understand not wanting to be the person always looking back.
Oh yeah, I have some of my old records that I have kept off streaming.
Same.
They're so cringy.
Absolutely, yes.
But this isn't cringy. Yeah. This is sick.
It's sick. And also sick is Greg and Steve letting us commandeer their podcast for this episode. I want to thank them. This has been so much fun. Yeah. I also want to thank you for doing so much effort with the audio, getting that Todd interview. And we had some troubles finding a time to be able to record this, so thank you for shuffling around your schedule.
No problem. I kicked my whole family out of my house just for you, John.
I appreciate it. This has been a blast. Paul Hodgert.
Oh, hold on. Do you have anything to plug?
Sure. You can follow me on the socials. I'm not super active on social media currently, but at JJ Danek. That is JJDANEK. I will be posting some music coming out in the next couple of months or so.
Let me know if you need a hand with that. I'm around.
I very much might hit you up for that. And also check out The Hard Times, where I do frequent writing of comedy, humor articles. That's thehardtimes.net.
The real punk news.
Real punk news. It's super real, super fun. I love being involved in that. So those are my plugs. What about you, Paul?
You can follow me at Paul Hodgert on whatever you find. I don't post much, and when I do, it's a lot of pictures of my kids, but they are awesome and also the worst. It's a real fun line to walk. You can check out my record, Paul is Dead, streaming everywhere, and check out uniter.ca. That is the newspaper that I work for. I write for sometimes, but I do all the behind-the-scenes stuff all of the time. So I think that's about it for me. Also, check out Unscripted Moments, a podcast about Propagandhi.
Which you're checking out right now.
You can find wherever your ears
so.
are at this moment right now. John, it was great to actually talk to you. I love you, man.
Yeah, totally. Love you too. This was so much fun. Thank you for doing this with me, and thank you all for listening.
I can't believe except the set we make what clips up remaining. And I can't believe all the things we've done. Still we look like nothing. And I can't believe all the